All right, so welcome, visionaries. Super excited about this uh, interview that I have, this guest, this amazing client, and really just this incredible um, manifesting generator who's going to share a little bit about her journey through the four radical transformations and going through the experience of the full course that we just completed. And really, I'm just going to hand it off to you, Stephanie, and just share about your journey and your experience and what you learned about yourself through these radical transformations.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to start with talking about how much I loved doing the course work, even though when I first started out, I wasn't quite sure what to expect and where it would take me. And throughout the time, the journey of, I think, how long did it take? About 9 months,
Yeah.
about ish.
Yeah, between
And
yeah, seven between 7 and 9. Yeah.
yeah, so what I wasn't sure what to expect in that time. And then through the experience from when we started to when we finished, I think life changed so much for me. And then having this knowledge going through the transformation in my own life completely changed how that journey looked and felt for me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the beautiful thing is watching, like, as people were kind of contemplating and going through how many people in the group started having these popcorns in their life. You know what I mean? Everybody in the group has already been experimenting and living their design. So, we know that that's going to lead us places, right? But then adding this and then having that group intention, it really gave space for everyone to go through their transformation. So share a little bit about what happened for you. What happened in your life?
Um, well, when we first started, um, I already knew a little bit as far as the transformations go. Like I'm high sound and valley environment, and so I already knew. I already was experimenting with those things a little bit in my life. So seeing how like being more in touch as we went through the course and really seeing my life through the lens of the transformations made a lot more things make sense. So I
Mhm.
was more clear on the why and the why things were happening like that, why to me they felt that way, and my perspective on the things that were coming into my experience shifted a lot. So I was able to um, just come into like see my life from a whole new set of eyes, and more so contemplate and enjoy the experience and the journey rather than being like, wow, what is all this? I was like, oh, okay, I kind of get what's happening right now, and now I can roll with it.
Right.
And it's kind of fun. It's been fun to experiment with that knowledge and see how it's shifting. And I was like, oh my gosh, this makes so much sense to why this is happening. And I feel like that takes a lot of the fear, a lot of the anxiety, a lot of the wondering, like, why is this happening to me or for me, or what is happening? Now that I can see, like, I'm letting these transformations unfold as they should, and having a deeper understanding of what that looks like. And so it's a cool experience to witness that, because I mean, with I'm here to be the witness. So I'm just witnessing these transformations that myself and my clients and people that I know in the group have gone through,
Yeah.
and just witnessing that and seeing how it all plays out is was really impactful for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I love listening to your shares around your journey and just kind of like your own personal experience with it, because you have such a great way of sort of sharing and such a great way of reflecting on your life through the transformation. So, do you feel comfortable sharing a little bit about the high sound and about your, which radical transformations you have and how they play out for you?
Oh, I got cut
Are
off.
you
Oh,
there?
there. We're back. Yeah.
Sorry
It's
about
like
that.
okay. So yeah, I can share a little bit about that. So um in this period of my life, I've been going through what I like to call, and I've spoken about this before, the softening that's happening to me. And I'm a high sound person, so music has always been such a big part of my life. I like loud noises, like loud music. I was always like music on blast and really aggressive, like go, 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 hustling music. I was like anything to like get me motivated to get out there. And what I'm going through now, I call it the softening, because all that sound that used to sound good to me doesn't sound the same to me and as good anymore. So I'm paying attention more to lyrics and tone and pitch and beat. And as I'm changing in my life, the sounds of what are appealing to me have also been changing. And I thought that was a really interesting thing to notice, um, because what I was listening to and needed, and to kind of keep me going and to lift me up and light me up, are totally different now from what I'm totally different from what I'm experiencing now is totally different from what it was before. And I like things a lot softer and more melodic, and the environments that I go to, I like those to be softer and softer spoken people, and so it's just like those little changes reflect so much of where my life is now, and I think where it's heading.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. And what about for you with your environment? I remember you sharing the one story about how you were sitting, there's like this sense of the passive valleys where you were like sitting and observing, and that was how you were like, didn't you meet your guy that way?
Yeah, and I just yeah, like the valleys for me, I have been huge as far as impact on my life, especially now I'm looking back. Like right now I'm in the valley. I'm in the literal valley, and I need to always be on that ground level, the always the acoustics being really important to me. And sitting on like I was talking about, a great place for me is sitting on a patio, sitting on anywhere where I can watch the world go by and kind of have life come to me. And yeah, I did meet someone at that time by sitting out on a patio, um, just waiting for my brunch. And that
Yeah,
happens to me a lot. I just have to go out. So when I'm feeling called, like, to just go out and be outside and like, should go sit on a patio right now, I tend to listen to that,
yeah.
because I know that there's going to be something that's going to come into my field from just being the observer.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so beautiful. And then your view was is wanting, right?
Mhm.
And so and your views wanting and your distractions is security, right?
Yeah.
And so that was another really big aha when you were sharing about that, and how in the past, you were talking about how you were always like so afraid of security, as opposed to how the wanting kind of can open up your life. So, yeah, tell us a little bit about that. I loved your perspective on that.
Yeah. So with the wanting, what I've learned to really trust through this process what I want, because I feel like what I want has some merit. Well, has some, not some merit, a lot of merit, like all the
Yeah, exactly. The most important merit. And
most
here's the beautiful thing, that's not for everybody. Right?
right.
Just as a side note, like not everyone has wanting. So just even though we're all conditioned to be in the wanting, it's not correct for everyone. And those people where it is correct for, they're usually in that distraction. So,
Yeah, and with the distraction of the security, there's been times in my life when I've been in the transference, and I was always really worried about basic needs. Like, never mind what I want. Do I have food, water, shelter? And it was like, as long as I had that, like, that's when I focus on those things instead of what I want, I just end up completely feeling like it's not a good place for me. Let's just say that. Like, I need to not worry. I need to be in a place where those kind of things just will come. And how do they come? How do I know those needs are taken care of? By going after what I want.
Right.
And because I've realized when I've not gone after what I want and I've gone after what other people suggest for me or want for me or
Hmm.
think that I should be doing, that's how I end up back in that place of fighting for like the security and their survival.
Yeah.
So that was a big aha moment for me. Like, no, I'm focusing on what I want. And I also have the external vision. So that's a lot of, I feel like a lot of that's connected what I see and like what I'm feeling like I'm wanting. Usually that kind of comes together for me. And it's connected in that way. So it's usually coming through the external vision. I'm like, I think I want that, that it's things are a want for me. And that's been really insightful because I've learned to trust the things that I want more without thinking like, oh, that's outlandish. That's crazy. Why would anyone want that? Why would you want that? Because it's really hard not to listen to other people's opinions on that. Like, I really do my best on to do that anyway, but people are like, why would you want that? I'm like, well, I just want it. So I've been trusting the want. Like, no, that's what I want.
That's huge. It's so huge. I mean, I love those little subtleties, with human design, where I love this so much because it's like once you know it, then it's so easy to kind of live your life correctly. It's so easy to just be like, that's what I want. And when you don't know about it, it's so easy to be distracted. It's just like the most simple kind of thing, the simplest in injection of insight,
Mhm.
and really changes the game so huge. The other thing I really loved, what you talked a lot about was when you also discovered your need, right? What your needs were, and that is her motivation. And like when you were discussing about even being able to tell your partner, or your needs, and be able to all of a sudden not just honor the wanting, but honor what you need. And again, this isn't for everybody. This is her specific, motivation, but just huge, huge, um, transforms not just your life, but your relationships, right?
Mhm. Yeah, and the need was an interesting one because um not only do I find like now I can vocalize more what I need, but I'm also realize that it's okay for me to be attentive about what other people need as well. And I just know that I'm hypersensitive to needs of myself and other people. So it's always like a big thing. Are needs getting met? Is there a need that I can fill? That's always a big question for me. And that's where a lot of my satisfaction comes in as well. Like as a generator, like feeling satisfied. Um, it goes in with just making sure those needs, like my own needs and the needs of those in my immediate circle, are met. And I was like, because I was like, why do like I I look back into relationships and certain situations, and I didn't feel loved, or I didn't feel um, valued because my needs, certain needs, weren't being met. And if the needs were just met, then things would be a lot different. Perhaps, maybe, we don't know, but
Right, probably though, right? Probably. And yeah, so also, once you get to the point where you can communicate your need and be like, this is my design, this is what I need, it just makes it so much easier to be able to say it. And I know that that's a huge issue in relationships, is people not being able to discuss what they need. And then of course we have the transference, and we have people who are actually who are underwater in the need, which makes this all so unique, right? So not everyone, a lot of people feel the pressure to take care of the needs of other people, and that's not correct for them.
Mhm.
And so learning the subtleties, huge transformations, how we, are in relationships, how we speak our need, how we're aware of the need. And then what were the insights and the sort of transformations you had around the transference?
Well, because I have, an open spleen
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of fear gates, like a lot, I'm just lit up there all over the place. I think with that and being in transference of the need played out a lot. I can see how it really, really played out. There's a lot of things that I was just really fearful of. And a lot of it was because I wasn't expressing my need as well.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm not expressing the need, the fear comes out. So, and I always like to look at things as, in a sense of duality, like, okay, well, if the fear is present, then the opposite of that is here.
Mm-hmm.
So when I think about my needs, like I also have an open emotional center. So I was with, I realized that I was not like I was avoiding the confrontation of speaking up about my needs, and then being fearful of what the outcome would be, or living in so much fear around what I needed. And so a big part of that and the puzzle piece there has not only making sure that the needs of everyone else are taken care of, but the needs of myself
Yeah.
too are being taken care of. And that's when I'm feeling fearful, that's where I know that I'm really in the transference there,
Yeah.
because usually I'm feeling fearful because I have a need not being met at the end of the day. That's what it comes down to.
That's huge.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a really good observation about the undefined spleen and the undefined emotional. It's like the undefined emotional is not going to speak. They're going to avoid the truth. And so it's so great to know all of these aspects playing in so that you can be in your proper motivation and you can pop into, that higher expression of yourself. Um,
Yeah, I can take the emotion out of it and express that need without like tying the emotion to it. Cause it's just like, okay, well, this is kind of how I roll. This is how I am.
yeah.
This is like need is really, this is big for me in my life. So let's talk about that. And then it really takes the emotional aspect out of it. So that's been really helpful.
Yeah, so powerful. Yeah, so share a little bit about what you do in your life, how you bring this forward for people, and I will definitely have some links below to some places people can reach you, whether you whether it's your Instagram or you want to send people somewhere, but I'll make sure everyone can reach you as well, because you see we're getting our army together of really human design guides that have gone through all of these transformations to serve, because it's the time. Now is the time. We're getting closer to 2027, and as we can see, things are nuts out there in the world. So we need as many people out there doing this work and sharing their wisdom. So tell us a little bit about what you do and anything else you want to share about you.
Yeah. So I love this because my specialty definitely is on total transformations for people. Um, I, I read human design charts, I do total analysis, and I like to incorporate that into real world application and really help people that are going through major life changes. Like, I'm here and like things have really drastically need to change in my life. So where do I go? How do I start? And I
And
love
you
that.
really, sorry to interrupt. I was just going to say, you really can't change. unless you know your design. Because otherwise, you're going to push, you're going to shove, and then the port projectors are going to get burned out, right? So,
Yeah.
like, you have to know these aspects of yourself in order to change your life.
Yeah, and if you're going through huge life shifts and you're feeling like, I always say the people that come to me and we find each other, they usually have this like stirring in their soul, like I need to do something, like something's not right. I'm successful by societal standards. I've done a lot, I've accomplished a lot, and I want to do more. Where do I go? How do I get there? And how do I do it so I don't end up where I am again, like continuously in these cycles. So I use human design with that in my coaching to help people transform to who they really are authentically.
Yeah. And I love that because your determination is also like the transformer, right? The transformer. It's like the full transformation. I
Yeah.
love that. That's friggin' awesome. Yeah, so
Yeah.
beautiful. Well, thank you so much for your time and for sharing. And also, I just really loved sharing this journey with you. It's been really fantastic. I really, every single time you share, I always had the hugest ahas. And that's the beautiful thing is that even though the intel is, we're talking about the same intel, it reaches people on such dramatically different levels, and then, of course, it's going to enter everybody's life in huge, amazing, powerful, unique ways. And the most important thing is to take that and to create a unique life based on how it's integrating through you. And, you're totally doing that. And so you're just such a great living example of that. So thank you so much for sharing and for sharing this journey with me. I just loved sharing it with you.
You're welcome. And then, yeah, you can also find me. I have a website. It's Stephanie with an F, Fox with two X's.com. And on Instagram at Stephanie Fox as well.
Stephanie Fox. Yeah, so I'll put links to both um,
Perfect.
down below so that people can say hi, reach out to you if you guys feel called. It's really important to, learn human design from the people that you feel called to, and we're all gonna speak to different people on different levels. So that's the beauty of it all.
Yeah, great. Yeah, thank you so much. It's always a journey, and I love the journey through each step and each direction it takes me, I should say. So I'm always appreciative.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. And also, if you want to know about the four radical transformations, I'm going to put some information on that below as well. So you can check that out. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for being here. And we'll see you all in our next video.